First, all is right with the world. Hey, welcome back to Watch Candy, and today we are doing part 2 of what watches I think characters would wear in Mario Kart World. So without further ado, I think we should jump right in. I'm super excited for this episode. Let's go. Alright, first for today is the one and only DK, Donkey Kong. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Easily one of the most iconic and recognizable characters in all of Nintendo everything. He's the big monkey, and because of that, I've chosen a watch that I think he will love for a few reasons. I've chosen the Hublot Big Bang Unico Yellow Magic. And the reason I chose this watch should be quite obvious. A, it is banana colored. And Donkey Kong, he's a big monkey, alright? I think he would want a big watch that is colored like a banana. What can I say? It's big, it's loud, it's obviously banana colored, it's skeleton, which is really cool, so it's got all sorts of little details in there that you can see. The ceramic adds a really cool glossy effect. It's got so many angles, it's very over-engineered as far as design goes. And it's not a small watch either. It's 42 millimeters wide, which for a chronograph is not huge, but it's definitely gonna fit Donkey Kong's big ol' wrists quite well. It is limited edition, it's limited to 250 pieces, which I think Donkey Kong would appreciate because I do believe he is a bit of a flashy guy. Not like bling flashy, but I do believe he would appreciate having something more exclusive. And I think that's really all there is to say about this piece. It fits him perfectly. Next is an interesting pick. This is Kamek, and Kamek in Mario Kart World is actually not a playable character. He is in older versions of Mario Kart, but in Mario Kart World, he's actually a power-up, which is really interesting. Essentially, he goes through with his little magic wand on his broom and just changes what character you are playing as for a second, and he'll put different obstacles on the map depending on what character you get turned into. So let's say you get turned into a Goomba, he'll spawn a bunch of Goombas on the map and you have to kind of weave through them. And because Kamek is obviously very into the mystical, he's very wizardly, he even rides the broom, he waves the wand, he is very sparkly and glamorous, so I've chosen something for him that I think fits into all of those, and it's the Christopher Ward C1 Moon Phase. I've specifically chosen the 37mm variant. I don't think he would wear a bigger watch. I think he would wear a smaller piece, something that'll fit under the sleeve of his robes very nicely. And with this watch, obviously the first thing you get very much drawn to is the giant moon phase complication right front and center. This is one watch where complication is actually priority over just telling the time. As you can see, the watch doesn't actually have indexes. It has an hour and minute hand, but it doesn't have any hour indexes, so clearly there are some priorities there. And with this gorgeous aventurine glass, bi-layered by the way, so it's on the top of the dial and it's also on the bottom disc where the giant glow-in-the-dark moon is painted on. The whole thing is aventurine and it will glisten and sparkle in the light depending on the angle and as you rotate it, and I think that's something that Kamek would very much appreciate and be super into because it has such a wizardy, mystical aesthetic. I was originally thinking of maybe going with a pilot's watch because he flies all over the place with his little broom, but he doesn't fly very far. He just kind of flies in a straight line, and it's only when you summon him. I doubt he's really checking the time much. Plus, he's too busy waving and casting spells and, you know, doing his thing. So this watch has a Salida movement. It's the SW220-1, and they've added obviously this moon phase complication module on top of that. That is definitely not something that comes with the movement stock. And the 40mm variant actually did win a GPHG award in 2024, which if you don't know, GPHG is essentially the Oscars of watchmaking. So winning an award like that is quite prestigious. I mean, what other watch would you want on your wrist as you flew around casting spells on all these innocent racers? For my next pick, I've chosen easily one of the best additions into Mario Kart, like bar none. This is easily one of the best characters that you can play, and it's not even close. This is Fishbone. Now, despite what you may be thinking about the logic behind a skeleton fish driving in a kart racing game. This character actually is one of the most popular characters in the game so far. It's cute. Who doesn't want to play as a little skeleton fish? They have been in Mario Kart games before, but more just as either scenery or obstacles to avoid as you're racing. So this is the first time you've been able to play as them. For Fishbone, I have chosen a pilot's watch, which is a little controversial considering, you know, it's a fish, but hear me out, hear me out. Just take a look at this Oris Pro Pilot X. Look at all the angles. It's obviously a skeletonized watch, which goes for a skeleton fish, I think. It's got all sorts of details and angles that I think really pair well with the aesthetic of Fishbone and its character design. And it is 100 meters of water resistance, so although it's not really a dive piece, I don't think this fish is the type to do deep diving anyway, so the 10 bar should be just fine for this. The watch has an excellent movement too. It's got the caliber 115. It's gorgeous. It has all sorts of openings and that massive mainspring, which is super cool to see. That does give the watch 10 days of power reserve, which I think Fishbone would appreciate because the watch is not automatic, so Fishbone would have to figure out how to wind the watch every 10 days. So it's good that it has that long power reserve, but also an indicator on the dial so Fishbone can kind of tell, like, okay, it's time to start thinking about figuring out how to wind it, or maybe, I don't know, it'll ask someone to wind it for it because bro's got no hands. And if you are wondering, I do believe Fishbone wears this watch right at the base of its big fin. Next we have Biker Yoshi. This is Yoshi, but in one of the different costume variants. So not only does it change Yoshi's color from green to a pretty blue, but it also gives him a cool kind of badass look with the biker outfit. With Biker Yoshi, I think there's really only one choice, and it's the Breitling Endurance Pro in the navy blue color. It's a 44mm watch, so it's gonna be nice and big and chunky and really fit in with his whole aesthetic. It also is made of bright light, which is kind of like a carbon fiber proprietary thing that Breitling has made, which makes the watch super light, but also this really pretty dark charcoal color. It's a quartz chronograph, and I think the extra complication in the detail on the dial is something Biker Yoshi would really like. And the fact it being quartz is really good for a biker because the movement is a lot less fragile, so you don't have to worry about a chronograph and all its small pieces getting kind of jumbled up when you're riding on your motorcycle. And you know, it's probably bumpy sometimes. I mean, some of those tracks in Mario Kart World are not the smoothest rides. Plus, with 56 grams including the strap, it would be really comfortable and not weigh on the wrist as Yoshi was holding onto those handlebars all day. Alright, last for today we have Toadette, but not just the standard Toadette. We have the soft server Toadette. She obviously has a very ice cream themed aesthetic going on, very colorful and pink and white, and the watch that immediately jumped into my head for her is the Norcane Freedom 60 chronograph, specifically the Enjoy Life edition. I would have her wear it on the white rubber strap. I think that would pair more to her aesthetic than the bracelet. But come on, look at those colors. They match everything she's got. You've got a lovely bright blue, bright green, kind of a minty green, and then obviously pink. And on certain dates, you do get a little ice cream in the date window, which is so cute. And you do get a bigger ice cream on the case back. Now this watch is 40mm, so it is a little bit of a bigger watch, but I think seeing little Toadette wearing a giant watch like this would really add an endearing, cute aesthetic and just wrap the whole carefree vibes into a cute little package. And those are my picks for today. I hope you enjoyed part 2. Like I said, this is gonna be an ongoing series. There are tons of characters in this game to go over, so we have barely scratched the surface. But I think my picks are perfect and absolutely, without a doubt, undeniably the right choices for each of these characters. So make sure you subscribe, join Watch Candy so you can catch part 3. Anyway, hope to see you guys there. See you later.